Good evening, Googlers. My name is Georgina, and on behalf of GEGMN, we would like to welcome all of our viewers this evening for Tip Tuesday, episode 6. We're doing a weekly Tip Tuesday session in support of all the schools that are closed. That are using the GSuite for Education tools. So we're really excited to be here today to support you. And if you are joining us, please go ahead and jot your name down in the chat and where you are joining us from. We see here we have Mark, Grace. Mark, if you want to let us know where you're calling us from, that would be great. And we will wait just to see who else will be joining us today. We'll give it another minute or two. So if you're joining us from Amman, Jordan, this is the middle of week number 4 for distance learning. So most of the schools have been closed now. This is our 4th week. So we have been getting our Google on and supporting students that way. Oh, Mark is joining us from Australia today. That is so exciting. Mark, whereabouts in Australia? Not that I know too much about Australia, but I have a few friends over there. That is so wonderful. And what time is it over there in Australia where you are now? Here we are 6:30 p.m. in the evening in Amman, and we are GMT plus 3. That is our time zone. So, yeah. I think we have a few other people that are going to be joining us. We normally have this session at 7 p.m. We moved it up half an hour just to support the local culture here. So we are going to be doing these sessions live at 6:30 now instead of 7. 1:31 a.m. Wow, Mark. So you're joining us super late from Sydney. Wow. Well, thank you so much for being here. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing that you're still awake at 1:30 a.m. And you're an educator over there for a school, or you're a parent joining us today, or yeah, let us know. So we're here to answer your questions in support of Google for Education. Wonderful. So while we're just waiting for everybody else to hop on, the agenda today is pretty open. We usually jot down the poll in our Facebook social media thread as well as on our Twitter account at AmanGEG for people to share what they would like us to cover during the Tuesday evening session. So we actually didn't have any feedback this week for requests for what people would like us to cover. So I'm not sure if that means everybody's all Googled up and good to go, or if people are just really swamped and busy and haven't had a chance to respond. So I'm going to share some really awesome resources that I came across this week in support of engaging learners in the classroom virtually with Google for Education, and as well as answer any questions you might have. So Mark tells us that he is a teacher in Sydney. That's awesome. So primary, secondary teacher, and are you using Google at your school? We are 6 Google trainers here in Amman, Jordan, and we are a couple of schools that are using Google for Education as our learning management system across the country, and more educators are starting to use Google for Education. So it's really nice that we're able to share and grow with Google in Jordan and across the Middle East. I know that there are also some schools in Cairo, Egypt, where I previously was, that are using it as well. So it's super nice to see that we have some viewers from Australia this evening. Okay, so we'll get started. And this session is always recorded. So, as you know, well, Mark, if this is your first time, then now you'll know that the sessions are recorded and stay on the YouTube channel to view later if you need. I'm also going to go ahead and drop the link. So, the Google Classroom logo, the icon is embedded with our Tip Tuesday link. So I'm going to share that now by clicking on the duplicate button in the YouTube chat for you so that you can have view access to all these wonderful resources that are embedded in the Google Slides presentation. So you can keep that with you and let me know if you're able to get in, okay? And that's wonderful. So Mark tells us that his entire state is using G Suite. This is wonderful. So we're really happy to have you. And if you would like to share any resources in the YouTube chat, please go ahead and feel free, Mark. We're happy to include those. And we're super excited to have you from Australia. I'm just so excited you joined. And it's so late there. That's awesome. Thank you. I hope you get enough sleep for your work day tomorrow. Okay, so that is the link, and if you'd like to share that out with your community, please do feel free. We cover agenda, new piece of agenda item with different resources and training each Tuesday. And then if you take a look at the GEG Amand link at the top of the first slide, it's got our registration form embedded. So if any other of your colleagues would like to join our sessions, please feel free. We also offer a session on the last day of the month, give or take a day or two, depending which day it falls on, of course, with all of the updates for the G Suite features. So for the month. So basically, at the end of April, I think we said it was the 26th. I'll confirm after when I look at the calendar, but one of the last days of April will cover all of the G Suite feature updates that happen during the month of April. And we always take a look at some great tools that we can use in the classroom as well on those sessions. So you're welcome to join us then. And you're welcome to fill out the form if you would like to join any of our events. And for those of us who are watching the event from Amman, Jordan, we are currently in the midst of organizing a Arabic Google training blitz for all of our Googlers who are Googling in Arabic. We realize that there's a big need, especially for the new teachers and new schools that are onboarding with Google across the country, and there is a massive need for Arabic. So we're going to try and pull together. We are 6 Google trainers in the country. So my Arabic is not super spot on. Greetings are okay, but a technical training, I'm going to have to ask the support of my GEG Man team, who are really excited to join this as well. So stand by for updates in the next few days on when that's going to happen. It'll basically be like a 9 till 2 or 9 till 3, and we'll just do back-to-back sessions in Arabic for everybody. Okay, so let's get on with the nitty-gritty then. So today we are going to be taking a look. We just want to review and remind all of our viewers that these awesome Google for Education resources are available for you to support you with your distance learning during your school closure. And of course, there will be awesome resources in there for you to continue to use after your school's closure has finished and you're back to regular school. So here is the Teach from Home website. And just so that you know, if you would like to change language, Mark, I'm sure that doesn't apply for you or I, but you can go down to the bottom and you can change the language at the bottom of the website. Basically, the Teach for Home, oh, they've moved it to the top now. So here we go. At the top, you can change the language to other languages there. So this is the Teach from Home hub that was created by Google in response to COVID. Lovely welcome from our Dean Stokes from Google for Education, who had the honor of meeting in January at the BEC conference in the UK. And then it basically just takes you down the website and has a whole bunch of different apps with tutorials that you can watch to get support on how to use these features in the classroom with your students. So if I don't know how many features you guys are using over there in Australia, but something that a lot of our teachers, especially in the primary section who are new to using Google for Education, have really enjoyed working with Jamboard. So if you have the opportunity to use Jamboard, it's basically a virtual interactive whiteboard, but in slides. So each student, for example, could take their own slide if you're having a collaborative lesson, etc. So take a look there if you want to. The other resource that's embedded is Explore Distance Learning Resources, which was specifically created to from G Suite for Education again, on different ways that you could enable and empower engaging lessons using G Suite. So if you click on any of these, for example, building interactive lessons, it gives you some training on how you can do that. And of course, you would log in and follow through with that. Okay, so that's website there is for you. And then the last one here is distance learning strategies for education leaders. So this is a PDF. We actually, as Google trainers, just had this training at the beginning of last week, I believe. And it's all about distance learning strategies for leaders. So if your school is going to be onboarding with G Suite for Education, or you are onboarded, but you would like to have some ideas, where do I start? How do I support the leaders at my school, etc. This is specifically for instructional coaches and leadership at the school. There's obviously awesome resources in there for all teachers, but if you would like to share this with leaders of your school, it will help them to support their families at their school, how to support their own staff. So it's specifically a guide to help the leaders to lead that transition through remote learning. So that is there for you all as well. And we will move on now to number 2. All right, so Hangouts Meet. Mark, I don't know, are you guys using Hangouts Meet for lessons with your students? For myself, we're using the live stream function of Hangouts Meet at our school, where we are providing instruction and then students are either communicating with us via the classroom stream or through a Google Doc or Google Sheets to collaborate, and we're able to interact with them and answer their questions about learning live. So that's something we're doing. And now it's going to come out soon. It's not released just yet, but the support file is available on Google. So I wanted to share that with everybody today, that Google Hangouts Meet is going to be integrating with Google Classroom. So this is an article specifically to help teachers with that service. So the link is here. If you, I obviously won't read all of it with you, but basically um, what you would need to do. So as long as your administrator for your school has turned Meets on, then you'll be able to start using this once the feature is rolled out. So the tips for everything you need to do is here, how to turn that on for your class. So once the feature has been updated and rolled out by G Suite, then it even gives you pictures to help you understand how you would set that up. So with the setting wheel in Google Classroom, we just go and take a look now. I have one of the classrooms here. So we have the stream, we have classwork, we have people, we have grades, and we have settings. So when we go to settings, we can scroll down here. We have the general box, we have the grading box, and we see here that there's nothing related to Google Meet. So my personal trainer domain has not had that feature roll out yet. But what's really nice is that everybody now has access to the file, which will show you exactly what you need to do once the feature has been updated. So I would recommend that if everybody has the chance to read through that before the feature rolls out, then you'll have an idea of how to get started with that. Okay, so that's really exciting. G Suite is always ready to update us and upgrade their services with the best features possible to enable us to support our students and teachers in the classroom. So this is just brilliant. So Mark is sharing with us that Meets hasn't been integrated by the departments, but maybe soon. And the education department is allowing Zoom and Team. Zoom is great and Teams is Microsoft. That's okay, Mark. That's okay. We understand that schools are just doing the best that they can. And, even though some companies may be competitors, that's okay. There's nothing wrong with whatever digital service your school is using. We just hope that every student is able to have access to digital learning, especially in this time of need. And G Suite for Education is just one more awesome feature that allows students to have access to meaningful learning, whether that be during classroom lessons inside the physical classroom or whether that be virtually from school. So I know you put a sad face, but don't be sad. That's okay. You're using Teams. It's really nice that you're here and that you're interested to move towards G Suite for Education, the Hangouts Meet. My preference personally is Meets. I know for myself, sometimes other people are having Zoom calls. And previously, when I join, for example, with my headphones, it doesn't always connect and it takes me a while to get that going. Whereas as long as my computer is connected to my AirPods, it automatically connects through through Meet. So along with the G Suite features, I just find it so easy to use. You know, you have your video and you have your mic, and it's all set up, and it's just one window, one stop shop, and it's really nice to use. So it's really good. And Mark, I will let you know, since you are accessing the Google slide now for the Tip Tuesday, that in the previous Tip Tuesday from the week before, you can check out all the information you need to know about Google Hangouts Meet there. So there's a training link from Google, there's the Hangouts Meet guide, there's a cheat sheet for teachers with images and how-tos. So I definitely would take a look at that. And there are other features as well. I would advise you to check out on our YouTube channel last week's end of month webinar. We had a link in there for Chrome extensions for Nod as well as for Grid feature. So this feature is here at the top right. If I hover over my thumb, I'm not sure if you'll be able to see it just on top of my share. This is for the Nod feature. And then this is the Google Meet Grid feature. So it allows you to have multiple participants in a single view. And the Nod feature is basically like use of emojis to raise your hand if you have a question in the session, etc. So I would recommend you to download those, and that's all available on last week's YouTube Meet. Oh, that's okay, Mark. Don't be sad. It is a stressful time for everybody. As long as your kids are having access to something that is able to engage them in learning, that makes me happy. And I'm sure that makes your kids happy. And I'm sure that makes your staff happy. So it's okay. One step at a time. Don't worry. Um, Okay, so let's move along then. We have about 15 minutes left. Wanted to show you something really cool that I came across on Twitter, which is actually called Google's Quick Draw. So if we click on that, this I found super exciting because I'm actually personally myself trying to teach myself how to draw. Even in my old age, I can learn new things. So I'm pretty excited about that. So I came across this on Twitter from my professional learning network, and it's basically an AI, something to help with AI experimentation made with some friends from Google. So if you click on Let's Draw, we'll just do that together. It says drawing 1 of 6, draw a cactus in under 20 seconds. So if you click on Got It, then you basically can choose your pen tool. So it's basically coming across the bottom how many things it's reading from your images as you're drawing with your mouse. So it's a super cool challenge, just something quick that you can do to share with your students or even with your staff if you want to open a virtual PD to do with them. And you can draw, and then that feedback is sent to help their AI tools. So it's a really nice, fun, quick challenge to give to students. Okay, and yes, Mark, Google is lots of fun. Good call on that. We have tons of fun with G Suite for Education. Okay, so that's Google's Quick Draw. The next one is not a new anything. This is Slides Mania. I've linked in all of the Twitter handle for Slides Media SM and the website. So if you click on any of those links, it will take you to slidesmania.com. And it is a wonderful educator who creates all of these templates for Google Slides, infographics, but they also have the availability to, they have the option to download as a PowerPoint or as Google Slides. So if, like you said, Mark, your school is using Microsoft, then this is awesome. If they have the Office 365, as I'm sure you know, then they will be able to benefit from this PowerPoint. So I'm really excited that I was able to share something that your school will be able to take away from today's session. And what I wanted to show you, which was really great, that she came out with was called the weekly planner. So if you click on the weekly planner, it takes you immediately to the preview, like the public version of this. And she's basically created a daily planner through slides. So if you click across, there's a video to show you how it does it. and basically clicks, and you can see that each lesson is in each day. So she's embedded like a weekly calendar, and then each day you can just have your lessons going down for you in order. So if you would like to use something like that, you can click again, sorry, to the right to keep going, and you can see exactly how it is set up. So she's used specific icons, which you can then embed with the content that you need. And if you would like to use this template, you just click on the right. There's a blue button at the top called Use Template. And when you click on that, it will create a copy directly to your Google Drive for you to use as well. So shout out to Slides Mania. Where's the website? I will go back. There we go. Slides Mania, really awesome, very popular social media account for educators. As you can see, they use a lot of her tools across education and beyond throughout the school year. So definitely take a look there. We'll check over. Oh, great. Mark's already using Slides Mania. That's awesome. Oh, you actually found it today for the first time? That is so cool. Yeah, I've had Slides Media on my Twitter for a while, but the resource that I just shared with you guys today was just released maybe sometime this week in the last couple of days. So it's a new one that she's created, and it's really nice to help teachers organize their day, for distance learning. It'll help a lot. Um, Yeah, so Mark says he's using both G Suite and Microsoft, so you are very lucky. I guess I'm feeling a little bit lucky too because I've had the opportunity to use both platforms throughout my last decade and a half of education. So yeah, really good. Okay. The last one that I want to share, and then I'm just going to go over a couple of tips and tricks with you guys before we go, is called Novel Hyperdocs from Ditch That Textbook. So, Mark, I don't know if you've heard of Ditch That Textbook before. I just found out Ditch That Textbook just before Christmas at their Ditch Summit. And I actually recently got very involved, wrote a blog post for them on EdTech agility and whatnot. Some amazing resources for Google Classroom. So I'm just going to make the website a little bigger so you can see if you click on Google in the Classroom. It will take you here, and you have a loads of resources. There are free ebooks that you can download with resources and tools and strategies to help you in the classroom. You can browse Google ideas. You can keep going further down, and there's all these tips and tricks for all sorts of googly goodness, guys. Matt Miller is a really big superstar. Um, Innovative, creative education leader. So definitely take a look at what he's got here. Loads of quick start guides for Google Classroom if your school is new, Google Drawing manifestos, form sheets, the whole 9 yards. So definitely take a look there. I'm just going to click back on my browser to take you to the recent post, which was from yesterday. No, yes, yesterday. Today's still the 7th. Well, Mark, that'll be 2 days for you. And he says he's heard about Ditch That Textbook, so that's awesome. So basically, this article was written by social media superstar Carly Mora, who's also a teacher, a computer science teacher in California, and she is on special assignment for TOSA, and she works with Ditch That Textbook. So she's written this blog post, and I have to say, it is something nothing short of spectacular. There are 25 plus novel hyperdocs to use with your class. So I don't know if you're a Harry Potter fan or not, Mark. I don't know if you've seen their blog post from 2 days ago, but I am just going to take a look. Not Harry Potter, sorry, Percy Jackson, although I'm sure Harry Potter's on here. I haven't gone through all of them yet. And Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief by Heather Marshall has created this hyperdoc. So if you click on the link to the hyperdoc, it takes you there, and it basically gives you everything you need. Videos, mind maps before you begin the book, reflective questions, how to be a hero. And on the left-hand side, the hyperdoc is all organized, obviously, by this awesome table of content, so you can jump directly to the section of the hyperdoc to study those specific chapters of the book. So if you are looking for some awesome resources, looks like my internet is going to be a little bit slow now. Ah, there we go. Perfect. So if you are looking for some awesome ready to use resources for hyperdocs for different areas of content, then I definitely would recommend clicking on Novel Hyperdocs and having a look through all of these. So that resource is there for all of you as well. Yeah, Mark says, wow, right? This is super cool. So, super high five to Carly who put that together for everybody. Obviously, she didn't create each one, but she's curated, and that's an awesome one-stop shop for educators. So, thank you, Carly. And I'm sure everybody who's going to be following GEGMN will thank you also. um, Also, just note, guys, it says there that there's a Padlet that keeps continuing to grow with more ideas. So when you click on the Padlet, Heather Marshall, who is the first one of the first HyperDoc, she's basically curating a bunch more as well on her Padlet. So you can click open on the Padlet directly from the link. Okay, great. So I've shared some awesome resources that I personally came across on my own Twitter hunt and search to support education. And now I just wanted to give a few tips for everybody using Google Classroom. So just some things that came across the last few weeks to remind everybody of when you're working in Google Classroom. So number one, try your best if you can to organize everything using the topics. I'm sure that's not new if you're someone who's watching Tip Tuesday every week. This was covered in one of the other ones, but having everything organized in topics will help your students be able to find the work, their classwork, activities that you would like to set for them much easily so that it's not just all posted down the stream and they're going through an endless scroll to get to the work they're trying to get to. And I would like to recommend that people try to leave any work that is posted for students as ungraded during the school closure. And again, that's just a personal preference. If your school has their decisions or their expectations that things are graded, obviously we would ask that you follow your school's advice. But if you have the opportunity, maybe try to consider not having graded options during the school closure, keeping in mind things like equity and access to devices, sharing, etc. And just the whole stress of being home all the time, right? I don't know, Mark, if you guys are in distance learning yet or you're going to be soon, but this is our fourth week. And I know that some places like in Asia are going into their ninth week this week. So that's hard for kids when they're used to seeing their friends and their friends at school or friends at the club, etc. It's hard to be inside all the time. So one thing that we can do to help take that stress load off is to keep work assignments ungraded, and we can still give feedback, right, guys? We can easily give feedback through the comments when we set assignments. We can give those private comments or class comments if it's general feedback to the class, but it's just one less thing that students have to worry about. Mark said it's his second week. So, Mark, if you have any special shares that you would like to share with us all the way from Australia, we would absolutely love that. Is there anything special or specific in Google Classroom or even just distance learning in general that you found super useful or you thought like, wow, this is working really well for my class, or other teachers have said that they found this really good? Please feel free to jot it down in the comments, and I'd love to share that to our YouTube network for GEGMN. So while I'm giving you a chance to jot that idea down, I'll just speak about my second tip, which would be to make sure that we invite parents as guardians. So here in this Google Classroom, there are no, this is my trainer domain. I'm going to switch to this Google Classroom, I think. There we go. So in this Google Classroom here, and these, just to remind everybody, these are made up names. These are not real students. So again, once students have been added, if your school is using G Suite for Education as their learning management system, then your G Suite administrators, which usually make up also part of your IT team, will be able to go in and do a bulk upload of students for your Google Classrooms if you would like them preloaded for you, which is something that I do recommend for schools. It's just so much easier and takes a big burden off teachers and having to worry about class codes, etc. And for parents, definitely, guys, go ahead and click invite guardians in order to invite parents by email address here. And just so that you know, so if you're not a G Suite administrator on the call, you could ask the G Suite administrator at your school to preload the guardians for you as well. So that's an extra less burden. Parents, when they opt in to receive that, will have the opportunity to either opt in for daily notifications or weekly notifications. So you don't have to worry about that at all. And G Suite, super awesome as they are, send everything automatically for to the parents of any new posts or updates or assignments. So it's a nice way to allow students the ownership of their own classroom, and then especially like in secondary or high school, for those students in high school or secondary, that they would be able to get on with their learning, but parents can just see, oh, this is coming up, this is an assignment that they're working on, without saying, oh, show me your Google Classroom, what's going on in your Google Classroom. So, and you definitely do want to keep in mind, I know this has been a lot of chatter this week, for people using G Suite for Education about accessing allowing parents to access Google Classrooms. We would like to strongly recommend that you make sure that you check with the um, privacy setup for your school, your district, and the country that you're in, because it is different for every country. I know as an international educator traveling around the world, it is different, even from like America to Europe. They have different privacy laws there. So make sure that you're up on that to know exactly if your parents are going to be able to access the classroom or not, and if they're going to be able to view information that's posted in the classroom as a guardian summary. Okay, so let's see what Mark says. Mark says Snapcam. He uses Snapcam for fun. Okay, that's super cool. I actually don't know what Snapcam is. Do you happen to have a link you can drop me there? Otherwise, I am going to go now into Google and see if we can see this. Is this what you're talking about, Mark, the Snap camera? I love learning new stuff. This is so cool, guys, all the way from Australia. Okay, so it says here, Snap camera, bring the magic of lenses to your live streams and video chats on PCs and Mac. Oh, that's so cool. And I can see right away from the background video that's happening behind me is that it can add like hats and faces and possibly backgrounds. Do you know? I mean, I'm definitely going to read up on this. This looks really cool. Mark says, yes. Is this like a green screen thing as well? I am so glad you shared that with us. In fact, Mark, I'm going to go ahead and add this to our agenda for today. Stand by, Google Quick Draw and Snap Camera. And we're going to link that in as a resource share all the way from Australia. Yay! Okay, so I personally have not used that yet, but Mark is sharing that with us, and he says it does do background. So that could be really cool for live streams, to professionalize ourselves up when we're giving live streams. That's really cool, Mark. I actually do live streams with my students, so thank you for that share. I'm going to take a look at that. And for our other viewers joining, just make sure, obviously, that you check out the tutorials, the guides, and the frequently asked questions, and see if it's available. Because just so you know, Mark, some things are sometimes available in one country but not in the other. So, like for example, the YouTube for Kids is not available in Jordan, where we are located for GEGMN. Whereas that is available in North America. So just a heads up on that. Tamina's here. Hi, Tamina. Welcome. And Tamina says, Snapchat for the PC. Tamina, we have a friend joining us from Australia today. Mark says it's probably, yeah, now 2 a.m. over there, and he joined us. Mark, I don't even know how you found us. Maybe you can share how you found us, because I'm so excited to know that we reached Australia today. No, you're right, Tamina. It's a new time today, and very sorry about that. We wanted to move it up, actually, based on your suggestion from the last hangout that we had. I think on Sunday was the check-in. So yeah. Yeah, so Mark, you definitely want to connect with Tamina. Super awesome educator. Mark, you sound like a super awesome educator. So sounds like we have some awesome Grow with Google across time zones today. I'm really excited about that. And Tamina says she's heard about Snap. Snap camera for PC as well. So this is really good. Okay, so Tamina, obviously I can't repeat all of that, but we will hang out for another 5 minutes just to catch up. This was the agenda that we covered today, and it was mostly resource sharing since we didn't have any feedback to cover any technical issues. And then I just gave a few reminders as you hopped on with us at the end of the call. Yay. Okay, so while you guys are catching up, I will take the opportunity to remind everybody that we will continue doing Tip Tuesday every Tuesday for the remainder of the closure. And please do take the opportunity, if you can, to register with GEGMN so that when we send out the invites to invite you to the webinars or to any of the other awesome events that we're hosting, then we're able to send you polls so you can tell us what you would like to see and what we would like to have support with. And please, as I said before, feel free to go ahead and share out the link. So Tamina, I'm going to drop the Google Slides link for you again there in the YouTube chat so that you can have today's awesome resources as well. Also, we have a Facebook account, which is GEG a man. And we also have a Twitter account at AmanGEG. Actually, that's a good point. Maybe for next Tip Tuesday, I will just throw all the social media links into this as well, so that that would be super helpful for everybody. Um, and so Twitter is a man GEG and Facebook is GEG a man, a little backwards. And then you all have the YouTube channel now, so you can click like and subscribe if you'd like to follow us. And Tamina, big news that you may have missed from the beginning, we are trying to get together an Arabic training blitz, a 1 day Arabic training blitz. Because as you know, there's a lot of schools in Jordan that are trying to onboard with GSuite for Education. Super exciting. And we need to give them some support in Arabic. Now, I don't know how is your verbal Arabic, oral Arabic, Tamina. I know you can read it very well. So if you're interested, let me know. I am looking for support in Arabic for the day. So yeah. So Mark, I guess it's getting pretty late for you. Does anybody have any questions before we close the live stream for the evening? I'm just so excited you joined us, Mark. Again, I really just don't know what to say about the time. I feel bad that you stayed up late, and I hope you didn't stay up late just for us. If you did, I feel really honored. I'm just really honored anyway that you joined, and it's so nice to have guests from Australia today. Um, yes, so that's so exciting. So that's about it from us. So next Tuesday, we will go back to more tip training. So of course, these resources are really awesome and hopefully they help you out. If you are able to use any of the resources that you see in any of the Tip Tuesday slides, please do always screenshot or take a photo and share it on social media. And you can tag us at AMANGEG, AMMANGEG on Twitter. And we would love to hear how these googly tips and tricks are helping you to support your educators and leaders who, in the end, support students with their learning journey. Oh, you're welcome, Mark. That's with pleasure. It's actually a weekly thing, so just kind of go with the flow and see what would be awesome tools for educators to use. So thank you for joining us. And thank you to Tamina for joining. But Tamina's really cool, Mark. You know, she will watch this at like times two the speed. So she'll be able to get through it in no time. Don't worry about that. All right, guys. So that's it for today. I'm going to go ahead and close it because we're at the end of 30 minutes. Mark, if you are up late next week, we would love to see you back again. And please do share out the information. If we do go ahead and host a Saturday show, the episode by myself at least will be in English for my slot of the training blitz. So I guess that will be earlier in the day, and maybe you have colleagues or other members of education over there in Australia that would like to join. So please go ahead and feel free to share that out. Okay, so that's it for today. Thanks so much. Yeah, we look forward to seeing you again soon, Mark. So have a great evening. And Tamina, thanks so much for coming out. And we'll see you guys next Tuesday for Tip Tuesday. Oh, before I forget, I almost forgot. We do check-ins every Sunday, Mark, if you are awake on Sundays, um, at 7 p.m. Our time, GMT plus two. Actually, we'll move it to 6:30. Sorry, so 6:30 GMT plus 3. Wow, I just got all my numbers wrong, guys. Sorry about that. Every Sunday night, let me just slow down there a minute. Every Sunday evening at 6:30 p.m. GMT plus 3, we do a little 10 or 15 minute Google Hangouts Meet check-in so that we can chat with each other and see how we're holding up in this COVID closure situation and make sure we're all hanging in there. It's important that we support each other through this time. And so it's been great just to see everybody and say hi. So if you are free, you can join us. And if you do register, Mark, with GGMN, we send the link out through the Google group and then on the Facebook to join that meet. So we may look forward to meeting you there. Dina is here. Dina, I know where you're joining from, but pop down in the chat where you're joining from. I know Mark is so awesome, right? It's actually 2 a.m. there now, I guess, because when we started the call, it was like 1:30 a.m. So it must be after 2 a.m. now. So, Dina, don't feel bad. It's okay. I did send out the message, but of course, because we're usually doing it at 7, yeah, absolutely. Don't worry about it at all. No, don't be sad. You can rewatch it. It's recorded, so you can rewatch it a little faster the speed. But we are so happy to see that you joined. And no, Dina, it's not your fault about the conversion at all. So we moved the call, the Tip Tuesday webinar 30 minutes earlier for to support the timings. So yeah, don't worry about it at all. Yes, Dina is joining us from Egypt. So today we have Egypt and Jordan and Australia. So awesome. Yay. That's so great. Yes, you guys can rewind it and play it again. It's fine. Today was more about just sharing some awesome resources that we came across on Twitter anyway. And then I just shared a couple of tips at the end, really quick verbal tips about Google Classroom. So make sure you share your feedback at the end. Or before the next one so we can plan for the one ahead because this is all for you guys. All right, that's it for me. Mark, thanks again for joining. Dina, Tamina, enjoy the rewind. And we will see you after on Sunday of next week and for check-in if you are free at 6:30 p.m. GMT plus 3. Okay, thanks for coming out, guys, and have a lovely evening, okay? Stay safe, stay healthy, keep in touch, and you guys rock. Keep up the good googliness. Bye for now.